Now I want to go to the US, and there's big news out of there overnight with the special prosecutor dropping the election interference case against Donald Trump for allegedly seeking to overturn, of course, the 2020 election. As I said to Kristin Tate, it's a hell of a relief for the incoming president.
Well, this is also a relief to the American people who are so tired of our politicized justice system. This marks the end of the federal prosecutions against Trump. We still have those two remaining cases in Georgia and New York, but I suspect those aren't really going to go anywhere. And this lawfare by the Democrats was just a big failure. It backfired big time, Chris, because the American public saw it for what it was. They saw that it was completely politicized. I mean, these hacks in charge weren't even trying to hide the fact that it was politicized. So this is a big day for justice and the rule of law.
Yeah, there's a bit more to play out, isn't there? There's a sentencing due from one of those New York charges. But as you say, all heading in the one direction. And let's hope it's the end of a lawfare, if you like, because, of course, the new administration, we'll see what the Trump administration does. He's putting his cabinet together now. Matt Gaetz, who was going to be in line for the Attorney General's job, he's pulled out after scandals were resurrected in his past. But also Pete Hegseth, Fox News commentator, the veteran who's set to take on the defence task as Defence Secretary. Bit of scandal around him too. At the moment, it looks like the Trump team is standing by him very solidly.
Pete Hegseth, I suspect, will get through the confirmation hearings. If you actually look at the allegations being made against him, it's a pretty flimsy case. This is a woman who met him at a conference a number of years ago. She claims that he raped her or sexually assaulted her, but there's no evidence to back that up, especially because witnesses who were there saw her holding his arm and walking him to his hotel room. She seemed completely fine, and her husband and children were staying in the same hotel as she was, and she wasn't answering her husband's calls. Anyways, if you take a closer look at the facts, it seems that perhaps this is a flimsy case with very few details backing it up. So although the liberal press may try to blow this into some big scandal, I don't believe that it's going to ruin the Pete Hegseth nomination. I do think RFKJ, Bobby Jr. will be a heavier lift to try to get him through, because there are a lot of Republicans who have questions about him as well as Democrats. Republicans don't like the fact that he's pro-abortion. And then, of course, the Democrats don't like him because he backed Donald Trump. But I think that Pete Hegseth will get confirmed.
Yeah, more controversy to get through there. Now, former Democrat President Bill Clinton has given an interview. He says he wasn't really surprised by the election result. He would say that, wouldn't he? But he's also had this to say about Trump's choices for his cabinet.
He's interested in people who are loyal to him 100% of the time, no matter what the issue, no matter what the facts, no matter who gets hurt. He wants people who just say yes.
Yeah, I don't know whether this washes, Kristin. And when you look at the choice for vice president, it was a bloke, J.D. Vance, who was once hypercritical of Donald Trump. He's brought him on board. Of course, you want your cabinet to be loyal, but it hardly looks like a bunch of yes men, especially when you've got one of the richest men in the world, the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, involved as well. Obviously, Trump wants people who have got some strength, some runs on the board, and can make some strong decisions.
Well, Bill Clinton's correct that Trump is looking for loyalty, of course, because we saw in the first term what happens when you surround yourself with people who aren't loyal to you. Trump had all of these people around him who were constantly trying to undermine him. There were articles in large outlets like the Washington Post and the New York Times written by anonymous people high up in the government telling the American public that they were working actively to undermine the sitting president of the United States from within the actual government. So, yes, Trump needs people who are loyal to him. Now, that doesn't mean they have to be yes men, of course, or that they have to agree with Trump on everything, but he does need loyalty, and Clinton's right about that.
Yeah, exactly. But they hardly look like a bunch of yes men. We will see. Now, when it comes to Trump and policies, he's threatening China now to block the entry of fentanyl drugs into the US, saying that they'll cop an additional tariff of 10% until they stop. Is this going to work?
Well, I'm not sure that these tariffs will ever be implemented, but the threat of them could go a long way to solving the problems facing this country today. We have about 75,000 fentanyl overdose deaths per year in this country. A lot of that fentanyl is being created in China and then coming across the border. Something needs to be done.
Now it's almost Thanksgiving in the US. You'll all be getting ready with your pumpkin pies and whatnot. And one little ceremony, tradition, I suppose, at the White House is for the president to pardon a turkey or two. Joe Biden, for this fun little event, he still needed an auto cue and he still stuffed it up. Have a look.
According to experts, Peach weighs 41 pounds and loves to eat hot dish and tater tots and cross-country skis. You know, dreams to see, but the real dream he has is to see the Northern Lights, I'm told.
Poor old Joe, Kristin. Bring on the inauguration, I say.
We need to end this farce of a presidency already. And the media and the Democrats are still out there telling us that he's mentally fit and he's totally able to do this job. You know, Chris, I feel kind of bad for him at this point. They're just rolling him out there for events like this. We don't know who's in charge. It's sad for the country, sad for Joe Biden, and also, as we've talked about, very scary because we don't know who's in charge of this country.
Yeah, short answer, nobody, or the bureaucrats, I suppose. Thanks for joining us, Kristin. We'll catch you next week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much, Chris. Talk to you next week.